What looked like a done deal has suddenly fallen apart, and now the Knicks front office is scrambling to fix the damage before training camp even opens. I've spent the last few days digging through everything happening behind the scenes with this roster, and I'm going to break down every single piece of it for you right now. So before we get started, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel because you do not want to miss what's coming next. Let's start with the story that's been dominating Knicks conversations all week. The New York Knicks came into this offseason as the reigning NBA champions, which usually means a quiet summer of standing pat and running it back. But Leon Rose hasn't stopped working the phones, because even a championship roster has holes, and for New York, that hole is depth at center. Just a couple of weeks ago, it looked like the front office had finally solved it. The Knicks signed restricted free agent center Musa Sis to a 2-year offer sheet worth close to $5 million, a low-risk swing at adding a young, athletic body behind Karl Anthony Towns and Andre Drummond. Sis spent his rookie season in Dallas playing a real role in the Mavericks' frontcourt rotation, averaging close to 4.5 points and nearly 6 rebounds a game in limited minutes, flashing exactly the kind of rim protection and energy the Knicks have been missing since Mitchell Robinson left in free agency for Boston. For a few hours, Knicks fans thought the center problem was finally solved. It wasn't. Dallas had 48 hours to match the offer, and they didn't wait around. The Mavericks matched New York's offer sheet well before the deadline, keeping Sis in Texas and sending the Knicks right back to square one. And here's the part that really stings for New York. This is now the second time this offseason the Knicks have swung and missed at a young center. Earlier in the summer, they were also turned down in their pursuit of other frontcourt targets around the league, and every single attempt has ended the same way, doors closing one after another. With Ariel Hukporti gone to Philadelphia and Mitchell Robinson now in Boston, the Knicks are thinner up front than they've been in years, and training camp is closing in fast. League sources say New York is already shifting its focus toward the trade market, quietly monitoring other rosters around the league for any center who might become available once teams start trimming down before the regular season. If a young big man gets squeezed out of a crowded frontcourt somewhere else, don't be surprised if the Knicks are the first team calling. But the center spot isn't the only storyline heating up in New York this week. There's another name generating just as much buzz, and it's coming from inside the locker room. Guard Miles McBride is suddenly at the center of trade speculation, and the reasoning behind it might actually surprise you. This isn't about McBride struggling or falling out of favor. It's the opposite. McBride is entering the final year of his contract at an incredibly team-friendly price, which on paper should make him someone the Knicks want to lock up long-term. But that exact same bargain price is what's making rival executives call New York about him. A proven two-way guard with championship experience on a below-market deal is one of the most valuable trade chips in the entire league right now. And around the NBA, the growing consensus is that McBride stands out as the Knick most likely to be moved before opening night. His perimeter defense, his timely three-point shooting, and the poise he showed in big playoff moments all make him exactly the kind of player contenders love to target in a trade. For New York, this comes down to a genuinely difficult decision. Do they cash in on a player at the absolute peak of his trade value while the return is highest? Or do they run it back with the exact core that just delivered a championship, betting that continuity matters more than assets? Nothing about a deal is close to official, but sources around the league say McBride's name is not going away anytime soon, and every team searching for backcourt help this summer has reportedly checked in. And that's not even the full picture. As New York works through these roster questions, all eyes are also on the health of the one player this entire championship defense depends on. Jalen Brunson played through serious pain for nearly the entire championship run, and the details of just how bad it was are still coming out. Brunson first felt his wrist weaken back in the Eastern Conference Finals, and instead of shutting it down, he played through it all the way to a Finals MVP performance, including a jaw-dropping 45-point outburst in the closeout game. Shortly after the parade, Brunson underwent surgery to repair soft tissue that had been letting his tendon snap painfully across the bone with every single shot and every flick of his wrist. The recovery timeline has become one of the most closely watched storylines of the Knicks' entire offseason, and understandably so, because this team's offense runs directly through him. The good news, straight from Brunson himself, is that the underlying structure of the wrist and the tendon are both completely intact. This was never a structural issue. It was a repair job, not a long-term concern. He's expected to come out of his wrist support within the next several weeks before moving into a full rehab progression, which puts him right on track to be ready for training camp and the start of the title defense in October. Still, when a guard who averaged over 30 points a game in the finals is dealing with any kind of wrist procedure, every single update out of that recovery window is going to get watched closely by Knicks fans all summer long. Here's where the bigger picture connects. Even once Brunson is fully healthy, the Knicks coaching staff already knows they can't lean on him the same way they did during the title run. That's exactly why so much attention is now on Jose Alvarado. New York brought Alvarado back on a 3-year deal because they believe he's more than just an energy player off the bench. After arriving from New Orleans before the trade deadline, he became a key piece of Mike Brown's rotation almost immediately, bringing relentless on-ball defense and timely playmaking whenever his number was called during the playoffs. With Brunson coming off both a grueling championship run and wrist surgery, the smartest move for this coaching staff may be giving Alvarado a genuinely expanded role, letting him soak up minutes in the regular season so Brunson has gas left in the tank come May and June. It's not a blockbuster move, but championship teams don't just think about winning tonight, they think about winning in the postseason, and managing Brunson's workload could end up being one of the most important decisions Mike Brown makes all year. So here's where everything stands heading into training camp. The Knicks are still hunting for a reliable backup center after losing out on Sis to Dallas, and they're already scanning the trade market for the next opportunity. Miles McBride's name is heating up in trade conversations around the league, despite being one of the most valuable role players on a championship roster. Jalen Brunson is racing the clock on wrist recovery, with encouraging updates but a timeline every fan will be watching closely. And Jose Alvarado could quietly become one of the biggest X factors of the regular season simply by taking pressure off the franchise's best player. 4 storylines, 1 crucial offseason, and a front office trying to defend a championship without missing a beat. So tell me, which one worries you the most? The center search, the McBride trade rumors, Brunson's recovery, or how Mike Brown manages the rotation around him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next update. I'll be back soon with more Knicks news.